Welcome back po dito sa ating lecture room. Tonight, we are going to discuss itong Republic Act 8371 or otherwise known as the Indigenous Peoples' Rights Act of 1997. Yes po, 1997 pa po itong batas na ito. About 28 years already. And we have to revisit. Balikan po natin itong batas nito dahil ito po yung batas na nagproprotekta po sa mga karapatan ng ating indigenous cultural communities and indigenous peoples, mga IPs po. Kaya nga, ang batas na ito is an act to recognize, protect, and promote the rights of indigenous cultural communities, indigenous people, and creating NCIP, National Commission on Indigenous People. Sila po ang agency, implementing agency, tasked or mandated by law to oversee and to protect our IPs. Ito pong 8371 Republic Act. Ang spirit po nito is actually on three important pillars. This is to recognize, protect, and promote the interests and rights of our IPs. Bakit po? Because kailangan pong maprotektahan sila sa kanilang ancestral domains. We have to protect their lands as well as the culture from intrusion or exploitation. And we promote their sustainable development according to their customs and tradition. Pag hindi ito mong protektahan, mawawala po ito sila sa history. And we have to preserve history. We know for a fact that that is needed. Now, ginawa po itong batas na ito ng Kongreso at pinirmahan po ng Presidente in 1997. It is in accordance with our 1997 Constitution. Sa ligang batas natin, particularly under Article 2, Section 22, yung recognition and promotion of indigenous rights. Nandyan po, nakasaad po sa Constitution. Guaranteed po yan. Protected po ang IPs. So, this is Law, Republic Act 8371, enacted by Congress, is actually the enabling law. Tawag po niyan is enabling law. In fact, under Article 12, Section 5, yung protection of ancestral lands, Congress may create these laws for the furtherance and protection of the rights and interests of our indigenous peoples. Para ma-preserve nga yung customary laws nila, traditions, and their property rights over the ancestral domain because they have been there since time immemorial. So we will cite a few, ang dami pong tribo po. And in fact, there are 110 na tribes po, And we will just cite a few just to illustrate na meron po ito sila. And let's start with the Bugkalot or tawag natin Ilonggot, Agta, yung mga Aita po, ng Kalinga tribe. Saan po ba ito siya? Sa province of Kalinga, sa Cordillera, Administrative Region, yung Palawan people sa Coron, Palawan. May mga sacred caves po doon. Ito naman Bunggalot, Ilonggot, sa mountainous regions of Northern Zone, as well as itong Agta, they are known as the Negritos. Belong po sila dito sa tribe na ito. And remember, doon sa history natin, ang mga Negritos ang una. They've been there in the ancestral domain for quite a time, even before when the Spaniards came over to colonize us. Okay, meron pa. Another tribe would be yung itong Mansaka tribe. Ito naman, sa southeastern Mindanao, ito siya. Meron din tayong tinatawag na Mandaya tribe, sa Davao Oriental, Caraga, Baganga, Katiel, Boston, Tarragona. Marami po dyan, And in fact, ang tawag sa kanila is man, the first man to go to the upper side of the river, Mansaka. Mandaya. Daya is the upper side of the river. Yung Mansaka naman, the first man to climb the mountains because Mansaka, Saka is going up. So, yun lang po ang meaning yan. Sama tribe, they are those who are in the fishing. Kasi mga kasama nila yung mga Sama Badyaw, meron din po. Pero iba rin ang Sama Badyaw sa Sama tribe. And prevalent po ito sila doon sa Island Garden City of Samal, itong Sama tribe. Meron din po sila sa Tawi-Tawi, Sulu Province. Meron ding Jama Mapun tribe. So, take note of this. Ang dami po tribo, no? And I'll cite four more. Ito pong, okay, Bukidnon tribe, Tiruray tribe, Tibuli tribe. Ito naman yung Tausug tribe belonging to the Muslim brothers and sisters natin na mga IPs. Now, if you will look at the ethnic map all over the Philippines, ang dami po. And per presentation of the IWGIA, sabi nila, 10% to 20% of the Philippine population of 102.9 million are actually belonging to the indigenous peoples. They are actually indigenous peoples. And in fact, there are 110 ethno-linguistic tribes, sabi nila. So, ang main purpose po talaga ng IPRA is to protect the interests of our IPs with respect to their ancestral domain. And sabi nga natin, ang implementing agency is ang NCIP. Okay, klaro po yan. Okay, but what is that ancestral domain that we are going to talk about? Ano ba yung laman ng ancestral domain yan? Okay, we'll present this ancestral domain. Ito po siya. Ito ang ancestral domain sa Aurora, katutubo ng Aurora, ancestral domain of the Magat tribe in Debut. Okay. Ancestral domain refer to not more than just forest, no? They include the agricultural, residential, pasture lands, hunting grounds, burial sites, the lakes, the rivers, the sea. And the lands are protected whether they are titled or not, and regardless on whether they are alienable or disposable. So kahit timberland po yan siya, hindi siya alienable, disposable, that is part of the ancestral domain and that is theirs. Yan po ang sinasabi ng batas. Now, dahil po dito, na-question po itong IPRA law in 2000, no? A case was filed by Justice Isagani, former Justice Isagani Cruz, and Attorney Cesar Europa, questioning the constitutionality of the IPRA law kasi may issue with respect sa natural resources. And talagang maganda po ang kaso na yon, and it reached the Supreme Court en banc. Ibig sabihin, lahat po sila nag-review, sila po ang nag-talk about it, they gave their opinions, no? At ang score po is 7-7. So ibig sabihin 7 constitutional, 7 unconstitutional. Because of such, na-dismiss po yung petition and existing pa rin po ang IPRA law. Okay, so it was heavily questioned, no? In this landmark case of Cruz and Europa versus Secretary. Kasi nga, tinatanong nila especially doon sa natural resources. We'll discuss this. Kasi kung ibigay mo ancestral domain sa kanila under the IPRA law, sila ang may-ari. Ang arguments na dito is that, technically speaking, kung may natural resources dyan, gas, minerals, yung mga mining, sila pala may-ari. Out na ang state. Yun ba ibig sabihin? Ang sabi naman ng batas is that all lands of public domain belongs to the state. Yun po ang argument nila, no? Natural resources. Okay. At pag-usapan po natin kung sila ba talaga ang may-ari ng natural resources. Alright. Proceeding po. Sabi nga natin, nagkabutuhan po 7-7 at ito po yung batas na ina-attack nila. Itong Section 3A na nag-define po sa ancestral domain. Kasi sinabi kasi doon, in-embrace na lahat po doon ng areas belonging to the ICECs or IPs comprising lands, inland waters, coastal roads, and natural resources belongs to the IPs concerned. Kung sino yung ma-awarda ng CADT, yung Certificate of Ancestral Domain title. So, parang sinasabi, ang IPRA law effectively withdraws from the public domain the so-called areas or public domains literally involving millions of hectares. Parang, binigay mo sa kanila, paano ang state? Paano public domain? Di ba? So, yun po ang argument na doon. And we are more concerned with these natural resources which are inside the ancestral domain ng mga IPs. Yan. So, ang inatake talaga na itong natural resources. Alright. Now, ano naman ang tugon ng Supreme Court dito? Well, actually, tiningnan muna ang ating ating constitution, no? And kinumpare po ang constitution natin based dito sa IPRA law. Okay. Kasi sa constitution natin nakasabi dito, which I will read, the lands of the public domain, waters, minerals, coal, petroleum, and other mineral oils, all sources of potential energy, fisheries, forests, or timber, wildlife, flora, and fauna, and all other natural sources are owned by the state. Pagmamay-ari daw ng state. And of course, it ordains that the exploration, development, and utilization of natural resources shall be under the full control and supervision of the state under the doctrine of the Regalian Doctrine. Ayan. So, kung magbunggo po ito, no, itong dalawa, itong IPRA law at saka nagbunggo po siya or not in accordance with the Constitution as they said, ibig sabihin, unconstitutional siya. Bakit nyo binibigyan ancestral domain sa katutubo or sa mga IPs? Sabi naman sa Constitution, dapat ang state daw ang merong karapatan doon. Ayan, no? Because nga, in-invoke nila yung Regalian Doctrine, no? So, ano ba yung Regalian Doctrine? All lands of the public domain belongs to the state. All right. So, paano po? Now, proceed sila dito sa Section 7 kasi sabi lang, tingnan nyo rights sa ancestral domain ng mga IPs. May karapatan sila sa ownership, pero dito itong pinupukpok, the right to develop lands and natural resources. Parang sinasabi nila na, may right of ownership, matsaka to develop. Ngayon, kinlaro po ng Korte Suprema yan, no? Kasi, mayroon daw Section 8, no? Ang sabi doon sa Section 8, yung the right to ancestral lands of ownership and possession to their ancestral shall be recognized and protected, no? But would that mean that it involves the ownership of the natural resources? Okay. Ito po ang sabi po. Ang right daw to develop lands and natural resources means that ang development, control, and use of the lands and territories traditionally occupied, owned, or used belongs to them. However, with respect po sa natural resources, manage and conserve lang. Yan. And in fact, sabi pa dito, is that they are allowed to benefit and share from the profits, and they can negotiate to the terms and conditions for the exploration of the natural resources within their sa kanilang ancestral domain. So yun po ang ibig sabihin daw. Now, proceeding, kung ganun po ang ibig sabihin, IPs can actually develop and manage resources but do not own them. Ito po sabi ng Supreme Court, no? Sabi nito, you have to make distinction between land and natural resources. Kasi sa Section 7A, yung sinabi kaning right of ownership, only over the land within the ancestral domain. Walang issue po, yung lupa po na nasa loob ng ancestral domain which is considered as ancestral land, kanila yan. However, in Section CB, bakit daw sineparate? Ang nakalagay po doon na it speaks of natural sources. Iba yun. So, it means that it did not give specifically to the IP the right of ownership over these resources. Yan. Kasi kung dapat sana, kung ownership, dapat sinali sana doon ang pangalan na including ang natural resources. So therefore, the IPs can develop and manage resources but not own them. They can share in the profits, conserve resources, and negotiate the terms with the state and investors, but it's not absolute ownership. It's participatory development. Yun po ang key. Okay? So that is what the Supreme Court said, no? It does not give the IPs the right of ownership over these resources. No, 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 no. Sabi ng character natin. And proceeding, sabi pa ng Supreme Court is that ownership of the natural resources in the ancestral domain sa loob daw remains with the state. Sa state pa rin. And the ICCs are merely granted the right to manage and conserve. At the same time, benefit and share, ayan, and negotiate the terms and conditions, but it does not extend to exploitation and development of natural resources. So, klaro po tayo doon, no? Ang ibig sabihin, it is just a form of management or stewardship of all there inside the domain with respect to the natural resources. Land inyo, ownership niyan. Pero yung natural resources, manager lang kayo, steward lang kayo. Okay? IPs may own land, but not the natural resources on it. Okay? And their rights are actually, with respect to the natural resources, is in the form of stewardship, management, and benefit sharing, not exploitation. So no, 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 no. Because ownership still lies with the state. All right. And kinlaro din po ng state, and ibig sabihin ng small scale at saka large scale mining or natural resources, no? For purposes of utilization of natural resources. Pag small scale, okay. IPs, rights of management and use. O, use ha, management and use. Utilization from natural resources, magpanning ng mga gold, pwede yan, no? And sa large scale naman, ang sabi dito, priority rights lang ang meron sila in the harvesting, extraction, development, or exploitation. Priority rights. Ibig sabihin, bago lang ma-exercise yung right na yon, magpaalam mo na sila sa state. If the state grants them that priority right, then they could do it. No? Kaya nga, ang sabi sa batas is that a non-member of the IC can invest therein for a period of 25 years and not exceeding for another 25 years. So, klaro po that ang ibig sabihin dito sa large scale po, no, that they have priority rights but not ownership rights. Okay? Klaro po. So, sa small case po, permitted po, no, katulad ng yung mga farming, fishing, kasi natural resources yan, eh. Hindi lang kayong ginto eh. Farming, fishing, or gathering forest products, kanila yan. But for large-scale operations like mining or probably logging, kung i-allow ha, IPs must be given priority. They don't actually own it kasi. But for non-member, they could, no? Provided, kailangan po ng formal and written agreement to that at may paalam po sa kanila. Okay? So, let's be clear, no? Priority rights are not ownership rights. The state can still choose to partner with non-IPs for large-scale development of the natural resources. And the IPs must be consulted and compensated. And they get priority, but not monopoly. Yan po ibig sabihin dyan. And then, patuloy po, no? Under the Regalian Doctrine, kasi sabi po dito, all lands of the public domains belong to the state. But the IPRA law fits into this description, no? Through the principle of shared stewardship. The state may directly exploit or it may partner with IP or others, depende sa gusto nila, at their own discretion. They could come up with agreements like joint ventures or co-productions with anyone. In fact, if we will discuss ano ba itong Regalian Doctrine na ito, para maintindihan na po natin, well, it is found under Article 12, Section 2 of the 97th Constitution that says that all public domains and natural resources belong to the state. No? And in fact nga, yung natural resources which includes fish, the sea, yung mga mines, minerals, and everything, the forest, the wild animals, lahat po yan. And only the state may dispose of this, no? Because yan po itatawag nating exclusive state disposal. All right. And of course, finally, ang supervision and natural interests is that always pertain to the full state control and supervision, no one else. Klaro po ng Supreme Court in that case of Cruz versus DNR, pag-interpret po nila sa Section 2, Article 12 of the 1987 Constitution. Ito po ang mga options daw ng state, no? Sila ang pwede pong mag-directly undertake, no, the development directly. Or in the alternative, klaro ha, in the alternative, recognize. Take note of the word may recognize, hindi po shall recognize, no, the prior rights of the ICCs and IPs. And of course, enter into agreements with non-member IPs, yung hindi po katribo, okay? Or enter into agreements with foreign-owned controlled corporation, pwede rin pong ganun, foreign-owned corporations, and allow such other non-members to participate in agreement with the ICC or IPs, okay? So here, the state has options, no, to enter as to whom it desires to enter with. So it may deal with the IPs directly or involve third parties. Discretion po nila yan. Okay. The NCIP here will only be ensure that any deal protects the domain of the IPs. Protektanan pa rin kahit na makadiretso sila, no? Especially if the project involves yung foreign corporations or large-scale development. Of course, the maximum term is 25 years, renewable only once. 25 years, renewable only once. Clear po tayo dyan. Okay. Now, this decision of the case of Isagani Cruz versus Secretary, in summary, ang sabi po, IPs can use the resources on a small scale and they get priority in large scale. In both cases, kailangan po ng consent nila. But still, it is the state's call, no? It doesn't guarantee that ang IP priority, kasi yung word na may, it is an option for the state to exercise. Ibig sabihin, kung sabihin ng gobyerno na hindi, hindi. So, may priority rights ka, pero ang option or discretion nasa state pa rin or sa government natin. Alright? So, take note of that. Several options that they have, kanila pong discretion. Ito po sabi. Okay. So, kailangan din lang is paalam. Yan tinatawag nating pre, prior, and informed consent. Yan po ang pinaka-importante po na dapat malaman po natin when dealing with these IPs. Kasi sabi nga, pwedeng tayo mag-deal sa kanila na hindi tayo member ng tribe na yon. So, but before we could do that, there must be what we call pre, prior, informed consent. Nakipag-usap together with the NCIP officials and yeah, okay, to give royalties. Meron po kayong usapan kung paano kikita. Kasi because they have, gagamitin mo yung property nila, but meron ding actually compensation for them, no? Kaya nga benefit sharing, no? So ano ba itong pre, prior, and informed consent? Okay. Ito po, basically, ang meaning niya is to give or withhold their consent to any project, activity, or development that may affect their lands, territories, and resources. So for example, if you want to go inside that ancestral domain and ancestral land and say you would like to invest, you would like to use it in accordance with AFRA law without violating, no, preserving the domain, respecting the cultural rights and everything, okay, assuming ganyan, kailangan po ng consent ng kanilang mga elders. Okay? It refers to a principle that recognizes the rights of indigenous peoples to give or withhold their consent to any project, activity, or development that may affect their lands, territories, and resources. So yan po. Now, you have to understand what is this pre, prior, informed consent, no? Under the IPRA. Para kasing mahambing ko yan nung unang panahon yung mag-smoke sila ng peace pipe. One tribe goes to another tribe and says, okay, let's talk about these lands that on jurisdiction. Inyo yan dito, amin yan dito. Then they pass the pipes. Then that is what we call peace pipes. No? So this pre and prior informed consent ensures that the ICC, indigenous peoples, or the indigenous cultural communities are consulted and must agree before these projects, freely given consent, or they could also freely say, no, we don't like it. Okay? That is upholding the right to self-determination, promote a meaningful environmental participation, and protects the ancestral land from unapproved government or private activities po. Okay, take note of that, ha? Consent before project begins. And of course, upholding the self-determination. And of course, number 3, protecting the ancestral domain and the ancestral land. Okay, that is very important. So, take note that ang pwede pong pag-usapan nga, large scale and small scale. So, large scale exploration, development, and utilization of natural resources includes almost everything. Hindi lang po yung mina ng ginto or mineral resources, ha? Marami pong resources dyan. And of course, merong small scale. In both situations po, kailangan po ng pre, prior, and informed consent. This ensures that with this procedure, they are consulted. You understand the project and freely consent or refuse kung ayaw nila. No hidden bulldozers, no midnight deals. Diretso po, kailangan po ng prior informed consent. Kailangan pag may consent with dignity. After that, pag pumayag na po sila, okay, nice. Gagawa na yan ng MOA. Yung MOA, Memorandum on Agreement between the investor, for example, and supervised by the NCIP as well as the tribal chieftain or appointed elder nila. Now, take note, gusto ko lang emphasize, ang dami pong laman po ang memorandum agreement sa batas natin. But I would like to emphasize that this is the most important, no, when it comes to the agreement under Section 32. Ang contents na MOA, ang dami po niyan ha. Breakdown ko lang yung first part. And ito po, yung detailed benefit sharing provisions in accordance with the rules and regulations. Like for example, kung mining siya, at least not less than 1% royalty under the Mining Act. Tapos kung magtanim, let's say, ng mga durian, maraming dito sa amin, maraming gusto magamit ng property, tataniman ng durian, meron po silang sharing system kung pag-usapan kung how much ang share ng kita ng IPs. And in fact, minsan usapan nila, priority pa sila i-hire para to cultivate the area if they want to, para may sweldo rin sila. In that way, they will also succeed, no, or survive. Kasi nga, pinahiram nga nila yung ancestral domain or ancestral land nila sa non-IP member. All right. But take note po, meron po mga prohibited or excluded areas. Hindi po pwede. And these are excluded because they are identified as sacred grounds and burial sites. Katulad po nitong sa Hanging Coffins of Sagada, Mountain Province. Hindi po pwede yan. At saka yung meron pong identified international and local cultural and heritage sites, katulad ng Banawe Rice Terraces. Yes po, under sa UNESCO po, these are actually heritage sites, declared as heritage sites. Okay, so alam na po natin domain ha, na natural resources and everything. Now, sabi po sa IPRA law is that which remains as it is now and is still alive, yung ancestral lands kanila, lupa. Okay. So ano ba yung ancestral lands? Ano bang difference niya sa domain? Sabi nga natin, itong ancestral land is just part of the domain. So pag ancestral lands po, ito po yung lands occupied and utilized by the ICC or IPs since time immemorial. They may not always be titled, but their roots run deep. Our laws affirms this, and what is lived cannot be erased by mere paperwork. Ibig sabihin po, yan po yung occupied, tapos at tagal na po nila. Katulad ng pinakamatagal, ito yung mga Negritos natin, mga Aitas natin. Diba? So they've been there in possession. The problem is that ito pong ancestral lands na ito are situated in areas na napakaganda, either overlooking, malamig, upland, maganda kasi because, you know, they've been there. Actually, hindi nila choice yan, na-attract sila doon, only to find out na yun palang ancestral domain nila is napakaganda. Yan po ang na-abuse. Marami pong nagtatransact, marami pong bumibili, at marami rin nagbebenta ng mga IPs. The question is now, well, safe ba o risky ba ito bilhin itong properties or lands within the ancestral domains? Kasi po, tell you frankly, ito pong mga ancestral domains, may nai-issuean po ito ng NCIP ng Certificate of Ancestral Domain Title. Tapos yung lupa, meron ding Certificate of Ancestral Land Title. Meron pang allocations. Risky ba? Mag-transact kayo. Pwede ba mag-transact? Ano ba ang ways na legal na pwede? Pwede. Pwede bang bilhin? Pwede bang maging steward ka na lang doon? At meron bang pwedeng pamamaraan? What if kung before the IPRA law, nandyan na kayo? Protected na ba ay yung tinatawag nating vested rights? Okay. Yan po ang pag-uusapan po natin the next time around sa ating next vlog po. Ang pag-usapan natin itong transacting in properties or lands within the ancestral domains and how not to be fooled and how to do it legally. Okay? But of course, you should know by now that you cannot buy it because that is reserved for them, for the IPs na mga kapatid natin. Maraming salamat po. This is Attorney Raymond Bato, and as I always say, learn and share. Sukran.